The Walther PPQ M1, the HK VP9, head-to-head. Look in the description for the test I'm going to run. I'm not going to say a word during this, guys. We will finish up on the workbench after the range test is done. let's talk targets real quick. We'll flip them, talk the secondary targets, and we'll move on to the whiteboard. Bear with me on this video. I don't want to drag this out very long, but I want to make sure that I'm thorough in what I'm doing here, guys. And I guess before we get into targets really quick, if you are a fanboy out there who can't stand your gun not performing as well as another one, irregardless of what kind it is, please don't leave hate, stupid troll comments down below. I love H&Ks. I think they're phenomenal guns. Some of the best weapons in the world, maybe the best, in my opinion. It's my opinion. They work for me, okay? If you find something that works better for you, or if I find something that works better for me, it's not intended to be a slight toward that gun or a manufacturer. So, guys, take this for what it's worth. It was me on a given day testing two fine guns against each other, all right? So the first 5 rounds that you saw were slow fire at 7 yards. And 5 yards, excuse me. And they're going to be these 5. This was my first round fired, and what I did is I aimed at that round. So once the first bullet hole went in, I aimed at that round. And we went 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Never mind these lines, I screwed those up. It was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So these 3 are touching. And we're looking at about a 2.5 inch group. With the PPQ, I aimed right up here at the top of the scoring line, and we have the little 2 inch group there. So a slightly better group, slow fire, okay? If we look at the groups overall, there's no doubt the PPQ is better. It's not even close, to be honest. The scrape right here, pay no mind to, that was deflection from steel. After the tests were done, I ran a couple of 5 round runs on the steel, and it shot across here and tore my target, but it doesn't affect what we have as far as accuracy and precision with the VP9. So we've got a round on the gun, a round down here in the gut, all right? One up high in the shoulder, and then one out here. So if we remove the worst round, the flyer, and we took this one out, this one with the PPQ, and we took, let's say the one on the gun out, it doesn't really change our dynamic much. I shot the PPQ better, period. There's no other way to say it other than looking at the paper. Out of the 45 rounds I shot, 15 were on steel, 30 were here on paper. So you're looking at 30 rounds right here. So I thought, you know what? Sometimes I can shoot my subcompact better than my full-size VP9. So let's run the PPQ against the subcompact VP9 and see how we did. So I did it. I did it 1 day apart. I thought it was only right. And believe me, guys, it wasn't a disappointment. It wasn't like, I shot the PPQ better, I've got to vindicate H&K. It's not that way at all. If you happen to shoot a gun better than another, so what? So what? It's a good thing. Don't be so brand loyal and such a fanboy that you can't accept that you might shoot weapon B better than you shot weapon A, all right? Similar situation with the subcompact. This is the HK VP9 subcompact. That's the PPQ, all right? Although I did shoot the subcompact better, no doubt whatsoever. And if I eliminate a flyer, which is here, versus here in the PPQ, we still have a smaller group size on the PPQ. And here's the thing to remember also, if you look at the original targets, I kept more shots on the center line with the PPQ than I did the VP9. And the same is true with the PPQ here versus the subcompact. Although I did shoot my SK better than I did my full size. I've said in videos before that's common. I actually shoot that subcompact better than my full size. But apples to apples, about the same size gun between the VP9 and PPQ, it was fair to compare them. So I'm not going to keep belaboring this, guys, and going on with the targets. The bottom line is I shot the PPQ better than my subcompact. I shot the PPQ better than my full-size VP9. Now, are these still good enough for self-defense? Absolutely. The good thing is I didn't miss with any of them. So every single round during the drills you watched were on target somewhere. When you're fighting for your life, on target matters, all right? We don't want rounds flying everywhere else, willy-nilly, and hitting bystanders either. So all of the rounds were on target, and that matters for sure. So I'm going to get these out of the way. We're going to put the whiteboard up, and we're going to close this out. All right, so moving on to the whiteboard portion of this test. Again, to remind you guys, my thoughts, my opinions on my channel. Be cool if you're going to comment. Let's make this a good dialogue, all right? Ergonomics include, to me, grip, balance, controls, and point of aim. So when I bring the gun out of the holster from low ready, is the gun flat? Do I see the sights? Shootability, recoil, accuracy, precision. Reliability, concealability is size and weight, capacity. Those 5 are my keys. If I'm going to choose a firearm for carry, it's those 5 right there, in that order. Ergos, shootability, reliability, concealability, and capacity. Bonus, sights, trigger, engineering, and construction, which we'll talk about at the end. What I'm going to do is take the marker and I'm going to mark in the column PPQ versus VP9, and we'll figure out which one, in my opinion, worked out better for me on these particular days. All right. Ergonomics, grip, balance, controls, point of aim. The grip, I think they're so similar on the two that if you come out of the holster quick, I think you would struggle to figure out which one is which. If you didn't see which gun you put in a holster and you just grabbed them both and came up, I don't think you would know the difference. Now, obviously, if you took your time and felt there's a difference in texturing and that type of thing, but the way it fits in your hand, both guns, excellent. Balance, unloaded, the VP9 is not as balanced as the PPQ, but we don't carry them unloaded. You might as well carry a brick if you have an unloaded gun. So when they're both loaded with full magazines, they both sit in the hand, very nice. Balance, I think, on both are equal. The controls, the ambidextrous slide release works. I played around with it some just to make sure that it worked. The magazine release on both sides works on both guns. I'd say the control locations and functional capacity, I think they're equal there also. I have no problem there. Point of aim, either gun I bring up out of the holster, the gun is flat. I can see the sights just fine. So the first line, as far as ergonomics go and the functional ergonomics on how the gun points and feels, it's a wash. So let's check in between the two on ergonomics. Shootability, including recoil, accuracy, and precision. The recoil impulse is slightly harsher on the PPQ. And when I say slightly, guys, you saw the video. I had no problem shooting it flat. Follow-up shots were not a problem. As you guys saw with the targets, I mean, the shots were where they needed to be. So it can't recoil too badly if you've got good grip strength and good technique and follow through. So recoil, though, I would give a slight edge to the VP9. But when we look at accuracy and precision, you guys saw the targets. They speak for themselves. Advantage PPQ, winning 2 out of 3. Reliability. Come on, both. That's a wash. They're both German engineered guns. They both work. I know for a fact the VP9s are reliable, even in muddy water. I've done the video myself. The PPQ's been around long enough as well. Both are reliable guns. Concealability, size and weight. PPQ is a few ounces lighter, but I've said in videos before, a few ounces don't matter if you have a good belt, a good holster, and you've got any semblance of strength or structural integrity in your body where you can carry a gun, that a few ounces don't matter. If 3 or 4 ounces wear you out, you need to get in shape, bottom line. So size and weight, I would say equal there also. I don't see an advantage for me personally. Capacity, both 15 rounds, so we're a wash. So if I had never shot a gun before, or if I had shot and I'd never shot a VP9 and a PPQ, and the results at the range on those targets were as they were, and I went down my checklist of ergo, shootability, reliability, concealability, capacity, I'm going to probably go with the PPQ. Does that mean the PPQ is worlds better than a VP9? No. I think the VP9 is a phenomenal gun. I didn't shoot it as well as a PPQ on the given day. I'd like to do this test again later down the road just to see what happened, but I will attribute the PPQ shootability, most of it. Guys, the trigger is just phenomenal, all right? And while I'm touching on that really quick, when we talk about shootability with recoil, accuracy, precision, and we look up the ergos and the point of aim, the results on target don't necessarily mean the point of aim is bad. There's a difference between point of aim and point of impact. There are things that have to happen. When you aim the gun, you got to press the trigger, see the sights and press the trigger. If the trigger is worlds better on one gun versus another, point of impact is going to be better than the other one. That's just a no-brainer. So We move down to sights, the sight picture and the sight material. Both sights, even with the stock OEM sights on the VP9, I've shot those enough. They have aftermarkets now, but sight picture, no problem. Material, come on. We got to give an edge to the VP9 as far as sights, OEM sights, just because they are steel and they do have the luminescent glow, where the PPQ sights are plastic and they just have the plain white paint. When we move to the trigger, we look at three components: the feel, the travel, and the brake. I like the feel of the PPQ trigger. It's similar, I've said before, to a good Glock trigger, which now and then you run into a Glock stock trigger that there's a little resistance. You feel a little bit of that take up, and I don't mind that. I like pushing against a little bit of a resistance before the trigger breaks. So we look at overall travel and brake. So the feel, I'm going to have to say they both feel good. They're slightly different triggers, but when I bring them up and I work with the triggers on each gun, I don't look at one like, oh, that uptake or that. It's just so much better. I really don't. The brake, PPQ wins, hands down. It's a rolling brake. You saw that from 50 yards when I did basically an unintended double tap, which is a training issue, not a safety issue. The trigger brake is phenomenal on the PPQ. The travel, I do like where the VP9 travel, where it breaks. I like that. It's out a little bit further. I've always liked that about it. It just feels like you don't have to press the trigger very far to get it to break. Overall, I've got to say, guys, I mean, the PPQ trigger is legendary. I've got to go with the crowd on that one. That trigger is amazing. Engineering and construction, machining and materials. If we take a look at machining and materials, there are no machine lines inside the slides or outside. The finishes are both beautiful. I mean, again, I've said before, on a finish though, it should wear. It should wear if you use it enough and you train with it and it's in and out of a holster and you shoot it. It should wear the finish. But doesn't mean that they don't have to be quality before you put them through their paces. So as far as machining and materials go, I'm going to have to give the edge to VP9, and only for the reason the guide rod and the PPQ. Even though I'm going to leave that plastic guide rod in the PPQ because that's the design intent of the gun. That's what they put in as a design feature, and I'm going to run it that way. I don't like playing around with components that drive the gun. I just don't like doing it. So I'm going to stick with the plastic guide rod, even though I know Walther could have come up with better materials there for that guide rod. So VP9 is going to get the nod there. As far as materials, with a better guide rod, no doubt. In machining, it's a wash there anyway. So when we take a look, and this wasn't intended, guys, there's no bias here whatsoever. We're a wash on 4 subjects, all right? On the other 2 points, or the other 4, we're 2 and 2. We're split. Both are phenomenal handguns. What I will say about the HK VP9 is, through about 2,000 rounds, I have 0 stoppages, 0 issues. 1,300 rounds through my subcompact, 0 stoppages, 0 issues. Through 220 rounds now to the PPQ, I had no problems. The track record is there, but I'm anxious to see about the reliability. I want to see if that plastic guide rod holds up under stress, under heat, shooting in cold temps, hot temps. I want to see how it holds up. So I don't think there'll be an issue with it at all. But what I'm going to leave you guys is, with this video at the end, is if I were going to choose either one, I wouldn't have a problem with carrying them, and I'm going to continue to carry both guns. So don't take this as a video where I'm trying to convince you guys one is better than another. I will tell you this, shootability matters. And I happen to shoot the PPQ better than either of my VP9s. So take that for what it's worth. It's a fact. I showed you guys on the targets. It's absolutely true. But also take this with you. Both are excellent firearms. I recommend either one if you're looking to get into the gun market. Thank you guys for watching very much. I appreciate it. Comment below, like and subscribe if you haven't.